Hello and welcome to today's video. My name is Gabby and today we are going to be starting a new challenge of reading through the alphabet. So we are going to be reading one book that corresponds or starts with every letter. And this video we are going to be going through A, B, and C and just working our way through the alphabet. Hopefully we'll be finding some good reads along the way. I'm really trying to dwindle down my physical TBR, but I don't think I want to limit this series to just my physical TBR because honestly, some letters have been pretty difficult to find as I've been going through and thinking about this challenge and what I want to read. However, I do have our first book picked out and it is going to be All the Missing Pieces by Catherine Cowles. I'm so excited to pick this book up. I read my first Catherine Cowles book, I think last month, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked the premise. They're kind of mystery romances, more so romances with a mystery side plot. And they're really fun and really enjoyable. The book itself, the cover is so pretty with the little pink sprayed edges. And I believe it's a crime podcaster who kind of does a little bit of traveling to places where crimes take place. And I think she ends up falling in love with a sheriff. I love a small town vibe. That's just been so my thing lately. Something that I posted on Threads kind of recently was like, I am constantly chasing the high of reading All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. That book was the ultimate small town romance for me. It was so good. So, I don't know, I'm just on a bit of a small town romance kick. This is what I want to pick up. I'm hoping I can finish it tonight. It's just about 7 p.m. and about 350 pages. So again, this book we are choosing for the letter A. I'm very excited to get started. Let's get to reading. Hello, it has been a long time since I've updated. So first things first, I want to get this off my chest. I just got my wisdom teeth out, so I'm looking very chipmunky, especially on this side. You can see I have some bruising here. So I haven't been able to update because I worked like 5 out of 6 days. I worked 12-hour shifts because I needed time off for my wisdom teeth recovery, obviously. And then once I got my wisdom teeth out, I wasn't doing very much reading. I was just sleeping all the time. But I'm obviously still recovering. We're going to keep going on with the challenge. So I finished All the Missing Pieces by Catherine Cowles. I don't know what I want to rate this yet. I know I said I would check in at 50%, but then I was doing a lot of reading on the train and at work and everything, all the things, and I just never ended up updating. I think we're going to talk about this book at a different time because talking is not very easy for me right now, if you couldn't tell, but I still wanted to provide an update. So I was thinking about doing like mood reading. I was like, maybe I just will read and keep it separate from this video because I want to read, you know, and I just want to live my life. So, but then actually I chose a title that starts with the letter B. So I was like, this is perfect. We'll just keep going. So I want to pick up Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I actually was having this problem with my library. I was having this problem. My library switched systems and for a while Libby was down for like a week and I've been like obsessively checking for it to start working again. And earlier I just so happened to check just as it went back online. So basically everybody's holds had like lapsed because obviously nobody could borrow books during that time. So many books had 0 weight. I took out like 4, which is crazy. So Yesteryear had no weight, which I was so surprised. Into the Blue is another one that I actually bought recently in hardcover, but I was like, may as well download it on my Kindle while I'm not feeling well, while I'm not feeling like holding a hardcover. And then Not Quite Dead Yet, and then Beautiful Ugly. So I was surprised, especially that those first two, especially Yesteryear, I was so surprised that had no weight. So I was very thankful. Anyways, we're gonna pick up Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney on my Kindle. I'm really in the mood for a thriller, and this honestly hasn't even been on any of my TBRs. I'm not a huge Alice Feeney fan, but I was like, I want to pick up a thriller. I don't know what to pick up because I like have so many that I've already read. I've basically read almost every single popular thriller you could imagine. And there are some thriller writers that are very popular that I'm just not a fan of. So it's hard for me to find one that interests me and that I like. And I just figured we'll go with this one. And if it doesn't work out, I don't know. I'm kind of like scrolling through other thrillers. You know who I really love as a thriller author is Lisa Jewell. Oh, she's releasing a new book. Oh my gosh, I just placed a hold on Libby. Sorry about this lighting now, by the way, and I just look so crazy. I'm trying to see if there's any other thrillers that start with B. I know there was one called Bat Eaters and Other Names for Cora Zhang. Is that what it's called? Or other nicknames? Something like that. That I'd actually have recommended to me because I read The Eyes Are the Best Part, and that book freaked me out so bad. In a good way. I loved it. And someone said, oh, you should read this book next. But I'm not very interested in, like, pandemic reads, in books about the pandemic. Like, I don't know, that's just not really my thing. I guess that's probably what we're going to go with is Beautiful Ugly, because there were plenty of books that I could have read that have B in them, like Into the Blue. I guess that, like, has B as one of the main words. But no, like, I wanted something that starts with B. Now my mouth is starting to hurt. I'm talking too much. So we need to wrap it up here one way or the other. I guess that's what we're going to go with. Let's see how it goes. It's not very long. It's like, what, 309 pages. I could probably finish that tonight because I've been spending so much time just on my phone or watching movies these last 2 days. So yeah, just to recap, finished all the missing pieces. I will give a full update and review later when I feel like talking more. And then we are starting Beautiful Ugly tonight on my Kindle. I just took it out on Libby. I'm very excited, and we will see how that goes. Okay, it has been a couple days, but I'm here to give you all of the updates that I have been holding out on. Okay, so first let's talk about All the Missing Pieces by Catherine Cowles. I have not even really talked about what this book is about, and it's kind of a romance mystery. I wouldn't really say it's so much a thriller. There's nothing really scary or, like, thrilling going on, but we do have, you know, some crime plots. We have a little bit of a high-stakes situation once or twice where things are getting weird, but the romance really is kind of the main plot, and the mystery is what's pushing these two people together. And I really like this because I feel like there are so many unoriginal ways in romances nowadays that a couple is being pushed together, and to me, this one is just a fun new way of doing it, you know what I mean? So anyways, we are following Ridley, and when Ridley was in college, her sister went missing. She was presumed to be dead, and she decides to start her own true crime podcast just to help other people get the word out there about different missing persons cases. And she travels town to town, just kind of going and scoping out the area, getting interviews, all that kind of good stuff, and covering the case on her podcast. Ridley heads to Shady Cove, and about 10 years prior, I want to say, in Shady Cove, a teenage girl was kidnapped after tennis practice, and she actually escaped her abductor. And Ridley believes that this is the first case in actually a string of cases, including her sister's kidnap and potential murder, because her sister's body hasn't been found yet. However, she soon meets the town sheriff, Colt, and Colt is the sister of the girl who was kidnapped originally in Shady Cove, and he's like, no, you're not doing your podcast, like, I don't care, I know you're just in it for fame, like, you're not here to help. And Ridley is basically trying to convince everyone in the town, like, I want to get this solved, like, I have a sneaking suspicion, I think it could be linked, I think she could be the first case in a string of cases, and I want to get to the bottom of this. And it takes a lot of time, and, you know, soon someone starts kind of coming at Ridley and trying to get her to shut up. They don't want her to talk about the case. They don't want her to continue her podcast. And let's just say Ridley gets pretty close with our good friend, Sheriff Colt. Yeah, a little bit of romance, a little bit of mystery. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. I obviously am going to need to read another Catherine Cowles book because I really, really enjoy her writing. I would say probably a good, like, 4 out of 5 stars. I wasn't super passionate about it. I think it kind of dragged a little bit, but I would totally recommend reading it. Again, I think it's so fun and different from a lot of romance books where they're just kind of running out of traditional ways to push couples together. Does that make sense? It's like this having the mystery plots kind of added an extra layer of fun to me. I don't know. Okay, so now let's talk about Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney, which is what I'm currently reading. I'm 62% through, and I'm actually really enjoying it, which is surprising because I'm not really the biggest fan of Alice Feeney. But it opens and we are following Grady, and Grady Green is an author, and his wife, Abby, goes missing right off the bat. Like, she's gone. And he's very confused. Like, he doesn't know if there's foul play or not because he was under the impression that they were very in love. And it really gets him down in the dumps. He gets very depressed. He doesn't know if she was like purposefully harmed or if she left him. He kind of starts to let himself go in terms of his career and not producing quality work, and sells the house. He has nowhere to live. And so his agent reaches out to him, and his agent is actually Abby's godmother. So that's how he knows the agent, is through Abby, his wife, who is now missing. So she calls him up and is like, you've been really down in the dumps. I have this cabin that was left to me, and I want you to go stay at it for a few weeks. Here's some money for groceries and all the good things. It's on a remote island with very few people, and I want you to stay there, and I want you to write your next book. Like, let's get back, you know, on the wagon. So Grady does. He goes to this island, and this cabin was actually owned by another author previously who actually ended up killing himself in the cabin. And once Grady gets onto this island, he starts to realize that this is truly not a normal place. They hate outsiders. They, especially out of season, like, they do not want Grady to come on the island at first, and he's kind of like, what? But then, whatever, they all kind of start warming up to him, but things are just off. People never really give him a straight answer about things. They have very strict rules. There's no birds on this island. Like, it's very peculiar things going on. And throughout all of this, he keeps thinking that he sees his wife Abby everywhere in her like iconic red coat. It's reminding me of Pretty Little Liars now that I just said that out loud. But in her iconic red coat, he keeps walking around being like, was that Abby? Like, did I just spot her? Like, you know what I mean? So he thinks he's losing a little bit. The only person he really can trust is his own dog. He's finding suspicious things inside of the cabin, and that's like a whole plot line. I don't really know if that's talked about on the back or anything, so I'm not really going to give that away since I am kind of deep into it. I don't really know what would be giving it away or not, but it's kind of obvious someone is sneaking into the cabin. Like, at one point, he opens up the floorboards and there was like a hand made of bones. For some reason, he doesn't tell the sheriff. And then he sees the sheriff later and he's like, oh my gosh, wait, there was actually like a hand made of bones under my floorboards in the cabin. And then the sheriff is like, let's go see. And then they go and it's like not there. And it's like, he's low-key an unreliable narrator. And you can't really figure out what is just him being weird or the people being weird, or I don't know. There are so many different factors. Like, you don't know what's real and what's not real. So that's what that's about. I'm enjoying it so far. Again, I'm 62% in, so I think I'm going to finish it tonight. Time to cuddle up in bed. I wanted to do it today, but I was just busy. My sister came over and I love spending time with her, so. And my nephew, I don't know why I just gained like an accent, but anyways, we also went to Ulta today. It's like 4 p.m. It's pretty late. I'm just now like getting all my skincare in and like all that good stuff. But yeah, it's pretty late. I think I'll just get into bed. I do have some cleaning to do tonight and tomorrow. Just some light cleaning. If I do like half today, then I can do like half tomorrow and kind of break it up. And hopefully my next update will be me finishing Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. So I'm here with an update. I actually finished Beautiful Ugly yesterday on my commute into work, and I don't know how I really feel about it. So we're following Grady, who is an author. I don't know, the vibes are weird. I can't even really think of how to describe it. But then things around the cabin start to seem a bit strange. His things are moved around, his belongings, things that don't belong to him. He starts finding notes all around the cabin. Doors are left open that he knew were closed, like just that kind of thing. And the vibes are just so weird by everybody who he meets on this remote island, and they're very cliquey. There's like an island trust that they've built, this like community and all these things. And then Grady starts realizing that there was some sort of big event that really catalyzed everybody's odd behavior and their hatred towards visitors and all these sorts of things. And he also thinks it might have to have some involvement with his wife. So the whole book just honestly has very unsettling vibes. I don't know. That's all I can really say about it. I think I want to rate this probably like a 3.5 stars. It was enjoyable. I think the ending was far-fetched. And things did make sense, but it was getting a little confusing as all the reveals were happening, like one after another, like this and then this and then this. And I'm like, wait, actually, who are we talking about right now? The stories are so entwined that they honestly do get confusing, but I still think it was fun, and I didn't suspect the ending, and one of the big reveals really got me, and I was like, wait, what? And I was like sitting there contemplating, because I was trying to remember going through the island and all these things, and I was like, wait, is that really true? And then I realized, oh my gosh, I guess it is true. But anyways, I'm surprised that this book has somewhat low ratings, especially compared to Alice Feeney's most recent release, which is My Husband's Wife, because I read both and I actually think I prefer Beautiful Ugly to My Husband's Wife. I think the reveal was just better. It was more entertaining. I was more engrossed in the story and trying to figure out what was really going on and getting to the bottom of all the strange behavior was really fun for me. So that is our book for the letter B. We are 2 books down, 24 more to go, and we'll get through the whole alphabet. The final book that we will be reading in today's video is for the letter C, and I have chosen City of Gods and Monsters. This is part of my 26 for 2026. I want to read this series so bad. I don't know, I've heard really, really good things. I just started it last night. I was like all set up. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get so much reading done. You know, I just got off work. I have tomorrow off. All these things. I got 20 pages in. I got 20 pages in because I was just so tired. But I'm enjoying the writing style so far. I don't really know what it's about. I know it's fantasy. I think they go to some sort of like college, and it's this city. It's an urban fantasy where there's like not only vampires and werewolves and witches and all the things, but I think there's other things that I've never heard of. Dark slayers, supernatural bounty hunters. I guess her friend was kidnapped. I don't really know. That's about all I have for you. I will update at least like 150 pages in, I think, because this is like 650, no, almost 700 pages. So I feel like that's a good chunk. We might not do a halfway, we might do before halfway, just so I can tell you more of what it's about. But for now, I'm going to be getting cozy, and this is what I'm going to be reading. Okay, it has been, honestly, a very long time since I've updated. I've been feeling so lazy. I'm literally in bed right now because I just worked the last 2 days, and then I have today off, and I work the next 2 days. I need to shower. My hair is so greasy, but I'm gonna wait a little bit because it's only 10:05 right now. So I'm kind of just hanging out, and I'm like, let me get some reading done and not just rot on my phone. But I did want to provide an update because it's been a while. So I've started City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm currently, where am I? Opening up my Kindle. Okay, chapter 20. What page is that? I think that's page like 200. Page 185 is what I'm on. So this is like how far through I am. I'm a good chunk through, and I'm really enjoying it. So we are following, I guess it's spelled Lauren, but I think it's pronounced Loren, because there was something that said that her name wasn't actually pronounced Lauren. It's actually pronounced Loren.
So I guess we're following Loren, and she is a human, and she lives in this city of gods and monsters, quite literally. This city full of different magical monsters and demons and werewolves and creatures. And she is a mere human. She has nothing special about her. However, one day she is walking home from the club with some of her friends, and these people come after her. And they're part of like this gang in the city because the city has a lot of crime, and she knows that they're after her, and they kidnap her best friend because they could not kidnap her. So then they're kind of trying to use the best friend as like a barter. So her best friend goes missing and is abducted by this like gang that she knew in her heart was after her, even though she's a human, which makes her kind of invaluable. And then like a little bit later, someone else tries to kidnap her, and that person is Darien Cassell. And Darien Cassell is literally in one of the top gangs. Like, he's a part of the Devils, which is like top of the top. They're bounty hunters. They're really dangerous and threatening, and everyone in the city knows that they're like bad and like you don't want to mess with them. But Darien goes to fulfill this bounty, and it ends up being this human girl, Loren. And he's like, why, like, am I picking you up? Like, what the heck? Why are you my bounty? You're just a human girl. Like, what could be so special about you? And Loren's like, I have no idea. Like, I actually don't know. But all these other people are after me, and all, like, this different gang that nobody's ever seen before is also after me. I don't know what's going on, and I don't know why people want me. So Darien's like, okay, I'm gonna help you, and we're gonna figure out why all these people are hunting you down. These, what are they called? Dark Slayers, which are supernatural bounty hunters. But, you know, there's a lot of crime going on, and Darien is like, you know, a real bad boy, which is so fun. It's like kind of giving like a dark romance, like kind of a mafia romance, which I actually don't think I've ever read a mafia romance, but I used to read darker romances. It's giving like dark romance but supernatural, because he's like, you know, murders people and like fulfills bounties and like all these things. He is like a real bad boy, but like he really is looking out for her. So I am really digging it so far. She like goes to this school. She like has a troubled family life. I'm saying like so many times. Oh my gosh. It's just because I'm tired and I'm just going to rot in bed and read. So yes, I am really, really enjoying it. I really am happy that I chose to pick this up. And I'm just going to lay in bed for a few hours and read some more, because that's all I want to do. I don't feel like doing anything today. Again, I do need to shower. I do need to wash my hair. I'll probably hang out with my boyfriend or something later. And I work so much this week. So that's the only really update I have for you. But I'm really enjoying it. And I think I'll probably check in like a little bit closer to the end of the book, because I'm already almost halfway through. I think I'm like 30% through or something. I literally have not been reading as much as I normally do at all. My phone addiction has gotten so bad. I'm about to just like delete all my social media so that I have no choice but to read. Actually, you know what? My greatest downfall was getting a TV in my bedroom. My boyfriend bought me the TV for my bedroom. It's like huge, and he bought it for my birthday like 2 years ago, and I'd never had a like TV in my bedroom before. So I wasn't really a big TV watcher, but ever since he got the TV, I've been a lot more willing to watch things, especially like YouTube. I watch a lot more on my TV, and then I just end up not reading. So, curse you, Jordan, for getting me a TV.
come to you with an update. I have finished City of Gods and Monsters. I loved this book. I immediately want to read the next one. Let me tell you a little bit about what it's about, because I don't even think I did a 50% update. I honestly don't even know. I have to look back through my footage because it's been quite a while. It took me longer than it should have to finish this book, but that's okay. It's obviously so chunky. So let me tell you what it's about. We are following Loren, and she's on a night out with her friends when they realize they need to walk home. And they are in the city of Angelthine, I think is how you say it. And the city of Angelthine is full of gods and monsters. If you couldn't tell, there are vampires, werewolves, demons, and these things called Hellsayers, which are kind of like bounty hunters. They can read auras and everything. They're kind of weird and different, kind of magical. I don't really know how to explain it. But they're on a night out. They're like, oh, dang it, we need to walk home. It's going to be kind of dangerous, but we got to do it. So they're walking, and all of a sudden, these people pull up on them, and they're like trying to kidnap Loren. And Loren is just human. She has no special ability. They're like, what is even going on? Like, why would they want Loren? They end up kidnapping her friend Sabrine instead, and Sabrine is a witch. Loren is obviously devastated. She goes to the police. She's like, I know that they were after me. And the police are basically like, but you're a human. Like, why would they be after you? You're being kind of delusional. And she's like, no, I know that they were looking for me. And they took Sabrine because that was the closest that they could get to me. And the police are like, no. Well then, all these other people start kind of showing up and trying to chase after her, and one of them is Darien Castle. Darien Castle is a Hellsayer. He's a bounty hunter. He gets this bounty for like $3 million. I forget what their mode of currency is, but $3 million. He goes and finds her, and he's like, a human girl? Like, who would be paying this much for a human girl? What's so special about her? And while he's like pulling up on her, this other group of people start pulling up on them and are like trying to kidnap her. He's like, well, I'm gonna save her. Like, first of all, she's mine. Second of all, I am going to figure out why they want this human girl so badly. Like, what could be so special about her that apparently all these people are after her, right? So they kind of form a friendship in that way, that Darien is trying to figure out, why is Loren so special? Why are people after her? It turns out that there's this magic well, and this well can grant mortals the ability to turn immortal, and can also heal, I forget what the disease is called, but there's this disease that affects immortals that eventually ends up killing them and like drains their magic and all these things. It can heal that and all these things, and they find out that there's this well. They just don't know how it's all connected. They're trying to put the pieces together. And again, Darien is like just such a bad boy type. He's so like, goes out and fights on the weekends, or like when he gets, there's so much magical lore that I honestly can't remember the name of because I just have a small brain or something. That's not true. But there's so much that goes into it, and it's kind of hard to not give away any spoilers. But Darien is part of the Seven Devils. The Seven Devils are like a group of Hellsayers who kind of hunt bounties together and are each other's like gang, I guess you would say. I don't know, it was very, very good. You end up finding how Loren is connected to all of these things. And at the same time, Loren and Darien obviously start a relationship. I actually am obsessed with this. It's so long, but it felt so fast-paced for me personally. I feel like it really flew by. And once you get to the last like 25% and everything really starts connecting, and you're like, oh my god, literally what the heck? Even the epilogue had me gasping. I wish I was recording, but I was reading outside in a park, so I couldn't at that very moment. But it really took me by surprise. I really, really want to read the next one already, and I loved it. I would say like maybe 4.5 stars. Emotionally, this is a 5-star for me, for my personal taste. But I think in the grand scheme of like every book that I've ever read, it's more like a 4-star. The writing isn't amazing, and it kind of dragged in some parts where Loren and Darien were going back and forth, and they're like, oh, we want to be together, we don't want to be together. We want to be together, we don't want to be together. Because obviously she's a human, he's an immortal. There's so many deeper things that go into it. The lore gets really, really deep. That I just don't even think I could put it all into words, especially without giving spoilers. But I loved it. Oh my gosh, I haven't read a fantasy that I felt this passionate about in I don't know how long. I really enjoyed this read. And with that, we are at the end of today's video. We read 3 really great books in this challenge. I'm really excited to start this series and see what else I can pick up and hopefully find some new reads that I love. So just a quick recap. We read All the Missing Pieces by Catherine Cowles. We read Beautiful Ugly, and then we read City of Gods and Monsters. I really enjoyed all 3. They were really fun, and I'm really glad that I was able to find some new reads that I enjoyed so passionately doing this. Next time we will be doing D, E, and F for our letters, and I'm really excited for that one as well. I think I have some good books in mind for that challenge, so definitely tune into that. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.